Okay, good afternoon. This is Lucky Links, coming to you from a massive heat wave that's starting here in Northern California. And I thought I'd do something that I hope helps you guys to connect in a more significant way to the tool that you're using. I've shown you in another video how to buy a deck or get a deck and then snap it open and just start reading with it, or how or why you would want to do that, or what benefits. Or now I'm going to do something else. I'm going to show you like how you can get a brand new deck and you can connect with it right away in a way that's pretty significant and then sets you up for future success with that tool. A lot of times people tell me that they'll get something they thought was really cool art-wise, or a deck or a set of runes or stones or something, and then they don't use it because they don't connect. Well, I'm going to show you how to do this right from the beginning in a way that's significant. So if you pick a deck that for whatever reason is significant, and you can watch my video, so you can watch my video on how to, snap open a deck and just use it without getting all stressed out about it right from the beginning, without knowing much about it, and then watch the video on how to pick a tarot deck, your first tarot deck. And then this one, it kind of goes along with those, is going to show you how to connect in a significant way to something that you picked because it had significance for you to begin with, and how to take that further in a way that really opens up the possibilities of using the oracle in a way that connects to your subconscious and widens your understanding of the symbols and uses your understanding of certain symbols and expands it in a way that makes your readings spooky accurate and really have a lot of depth. Okay, and for this, I'm going to use this playing card deck that I've been wanting for a while. This is the Ghostbusters 30th edition. Now, why that matters, first of all, I love playing cards, and I use them constantly for readings. But this particular one is significant because the movie itself, when I was a kid, was a huge connector for me and the paranormal and the occult. And it was such a big deal for me when I was a kid. I went to the movies twice to see it. I went back to the movies. I saw it once, and then I went back again to see it again. So I just got this in the mail, and I'm going to show you how to set it up. If I can get it open, I'll show you how to set it up in a way that makes it more significant. Look at this. Look at this. This is crazy. This happened last time, too. Last time I did one of these. So folks like to do unboxing videos, and I'm going to... Okay, all right, well, excuse me for this. This is... I'm not advocating the use of weapons in tarot reading, but okay. Okay, so a lot of people like to do unboxings, and this is not what this is. Although you're going to see what this deck's all about, but you're going to see it through my eyes and my connections here. Okay, so this was a big deal. This story was a big deal for me. So it has a lot of anchors for me. So we'll put it that way. So okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the imagery in a way that connects it and makes a bigger deal out of it. And I'll show you what that means. We're going to set it up for future success right away. All right, so what I got here, the Joker is Zool, or the dogs. These are the dogs, right? These are the dogs. So these are, okay, so right away I got one that's going to be, these are jokers, and they're two different jokers. There's a red and a black. So one's going to be a minor surprise, one's going to be a big surprise right away. There's a connection to Sumerian magic here. I'm going to say that right away. So there's other stuff that can come in with the legend of the Hellhound or the Sumerian dogs. Okay, because I don't know if you guys know this, but the stuff that he based it on was, there was some understanding of some of the Sumerian stuff, which I found kind of interesting. And then we'll talk about that when we get to his character. It was Dan Aykroyd. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Dan Aykroyd wrote the movie, and he has a long-standing connection to the occult and the paranormal. He has a very strong interest in it. And what happened is that he wrote the movie originally, and it had to be rewritten. Harold Ramis helped him write it to make it funny because it was so serious and it was so spooky the way he wrote it. He said, no one's going to see this, no one's going to laugh. So it's not just a funny movie. There was some understanding of some other stuff going on behind it. Now here, what we got here? I got two cards here. Let me get my glasses here. All right, so, and I haven't seen this deck before. I just saw a few pictures of it and I just fell in love. Okay, so this I could use to indicate blocks. Okay, because it's double-sided, so I could use it to indicate blocks. So that means that this was one that was probably designed, this was designed for tricks. But this, what have I got on here? I've got, okay. So I've got the packs on here. Okay, so that could indicate a block, or it could indicate using the right tool. I'll decide on that later. This one is the car. So there's nothing else. Okay, so this could indicate motion. Then, and it could indicate something major is about to happen, or transformation. Is it's being hit right here. Remember that scene in the film where the ghosts all got out? All right, so something big. This could be a big shakeup, or a big change, or things really get moving because of the car. So we could take the chariot aspect almost into it there, or the car from Lenormand. So there's motion there, there's movement, and what I might do with this one is I might start to watch what it comes up in relation to, and then it'll start to tell me more clearly. Because to be honest, I'm not sure I have a vibe on that one, but it looks like it's motion, change, activity, something big happening. The energy feels really good with it though. So it feels like a good change for the person. Okay? So now we got our suits, right? So we got our suits. So then I'm just going to go through the suits. So these are the spades, right? So now what's interesting is the Jack of Spades, which is usually the devil, is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And if you guys remember in the movie, he made a wish. Ray made a wish. If you remember, Peter said, nobody think of anything, and Ray made a wish. And it was sort of the devil. It was kind of like the devil. He made the wish that kind of put them in danger, and made a wish without thinking. And a lot of times the Jack of Spades comes up for that. It comes up for the things that bind people, or the things that entice them into making a deal that they're not willing or ready to make. Now this is going to be kind of neat what you see happen here, because it's amazing how many times people do like a fun playing card deck like this, and the imagery lines up with meanings. So this is really cool. So I'm gonna say that that's not only the devil, but that's the wishes that might entice people into taking chances that they or getting into deals that they weren't aware that they were making. Also, it might be something that mesmerizes or hypnotizes, which would be an indicator of this card too. But the cool part is that Ray was absolutely mesmerized by this memory in his life, which also tells me that someone could be stuck by a memory that's holding them back or is causing damage in their life right now. It could also indicate power. That sucker is powerful. Okay, so now we got the queen. Now we got the Queen of Spades. That's the library ghost, which is interesting because the Queen of Spades could be a woman who's fascinated by knowledge and/or is very cerebral. Also, accepting your own power, which in this case, a very powerful aspect of that being came out to show itself. They underestimated her when she showed her first form in the library, and then she showed herself like this. Okay, so then we got... Okay, so the King of Spades is Ray. Well, that's pretty cool. Okay, so and you know what? That makes total sense, because and now I'm going to bring in the Dan Aykroyd aspect of it. He wrote the film, had a great deal of knowledge about the paranormal. His whole family did, as I remember the story told. He spoke out quite a bit about it a few years back, about some of the things that were going on in our country that people weren't acknowledging, and that there might be more to our planet than it seems. So all of those things would be indicative of a King of Spades. So not only the character he was the one who really did all the research, if you remember. He was, Peter Venkman was sort of the charmer, but Egon and Ray did some of the other work, or a lot of the work. But he was really a King of Spades kind of guy. He says at one point in the movie, doesn't he say, you can't get out of academia and go into industry. I can't leave academia. They want results out there. And that would be very much a King of Spades kind of person who would be an academic. But in the end, he does make results, and he does create some stuff that has some awesome power, which would be the other side of the King of Spades. So now I'm seeing like this kind of person. So when that comes up, I'm going to go, okay, well, either this individual has power, or this is a very cerebral individual, or someone has a lot of knowledge. So this is going to start, when this starts to come up, I'm going to go, I already have associations I can apply in addition to what the traditional meanings of the cards are. You see? So now we go into the diamonds. All right, these are just, so these are just going to be my regular playing card meanings, if there is such a thing. Right? Okay, so then we got the Jack of Diamonds. Now this is interesting because this is Walter Peck, right? He was the douche. And the Jack of Diamonds usually means good news. So that's interesting because that puts another spin on it. So I might look at this one a little differently. It might be good news, but it also might be... I might look at someone... If this comes up for someone, I might look at them a double way. I might say, well, there might be something under the surface here going on. So in this case, the Jack of Spades, this might be my good news card with this deck. And this goes into another one I was talking to you guys about. It shows how the deck has... Each deck kind of has its own... All right, so we got, this would be, this would be a powerful situation here. So now we got a supernatural connection here. All right, so this is, that's Zool there. Oh, who was she in the movie? She showed up right on top of the roof. That was Zool, wasn't it? That was how she showed up. And then, so this might tell me that if I'm doing a reading for someone, it might be a connection between the supernatural and or to take a higher view of value, or that there might be older values at play here, because the magic at work here was Sumerian magic, and the knowledge of the Sumerian magic is hidden. So it might say that there's hidden value here when that card comes up. So now we got Ernie. Okay, so that's a King of Diamonds, and he came into the picture not really being confident about it or knowing what it was that he was getting into, but he rose to the occasion. So I might say that the King of Diamonds here is a self-made man. So that might be one of the aspects that I bring into it. So now we got our pure science here. We got Egon, so that might so it will come up with our regular King of Clubs meanings: a dark-haired man, a man who's very active, a man who can accomplish a lot. Well, I think that fits. Also, there's a lover's aspect here, because if you guys will see the Queen, that's the Annie Potts character. That's Janine, right? So that's Annie Potts. But Annie Potts has some other meanings too that I'm going to associate with it, because there was some other movies and some other characters that she played. And she was one of those actresses out of that time that I think very fondly of, because she had a lot of characters in movies that were really cool. And those might come into play. Pretty in Pink, Designing Women. Those may come into play when I'm reading someone. So if they start to surface, if those meanings or understandings or associations start to surface, then I might pull them out. So my point is that these associations that you make may come into play, and when you're reading for someone, if that association comes into play, it might trigger something that gives you a deeper understanding of what's really going on with the person. All right. So then we got the Slimer. I'm saying that's going to be good news. I know that he was their first, because he was their first victory. He was their first real victory. So, and he was in the cartoon. He was such an integral part too, if you guys remember the cartoon. So I would say that would be really good news, and it might also mean that there's a supernatural element that the person's not paying attention to. So now these are our clubs, right? And of course, we got our heartthrob here. We got another lover's aspect, and this was perfect actually that they made them the king or the queen. Look at this; they got like a three-way love affair going here. So you got Peter, and you've got Dana, and you've got Lewis, and Lewis had the hots for Dana. Dana and Peter had a thing going, and he was truly this sort of romantic hero. So it's perfect that he's here. So this kind of guy that has a lot of charisma, a lot of charm, and a beautiful, intelligent, strong but vulnerable woman, Queen of Hearts, very much. Also, a lot of Sigourney Weaver stuff can come into play here. Very strong woman. Also, being able to master your emotions. Every character she plays, it's a woman who masters and conquers her emotions, though she feels them very strong every time this woman's in something. But very much in this. She was a very strong woman who had a great deal of control on her emotions. And in the Queen of Hearts, that's one of the situations that you need. It could be a situation where someone's got their emotions out of control. The real queen knows how to master them. And then we've got the young, we've got Lewis, who's he's almost the fool in this. So we might have the Jack of Hearts being the fool, or a young, immature, inexperienced lover. Or someone who's a little awkward, and so like if this comes up for someone and I say, well, he seems like he's a little awkward and outside. So I'm actually taking the character traits here in addition to what I know about the card meanings, and I'm giving a deeper understanding. And then we got the rest of the hearts. These are just the regular. So that's how you do it. So you find out what the association, and this could be with anything. So now, like, let's say that you get a deck that's got Celtic characters in it, and you have these associations with the Celtic characters. You build like that, and you go, okay, well, what are my associations with it? So let me show you how we're going to do it. I'm going to take the block out, because I'm not sure I want to put the block in there. But if I want to, someone's blocked, if that comes up. And then this one, we're going to see what comes up for it. I'm going to play with that one as another wild card. So let's say someone comes to me and they're like, hey, let me think of a situation. Let me think of a situation that's genuine. Someone's like, okay, she's struggling. She's struggling to gain a deeper understanding of a subject, and she's worried about. So she's a woman who's struggling with her self-image and how men perceive her. How's that? Okay, she comes to you and she kind of hints that that's what's going on, and you do a reading. So I'm gonna use these and we'll see what we get, and I'll show you how those associations come in. Let's hope the court cards. Lots of the court cards come up. So we got Eight of Hearts. Okay, so new passion, or how she views herself as a lover, and then we got the 8. We got a challenge there, and then none of the court cards are coming up. There we go. There he is. There he is. There's the lover, the ideal lover. Okay, we got 2 guys, and then we got the 5. Okay, so here's how we do it. This is a perfect example. Okay, so without getting too much into the meanings, because I've done videos on that. Let's just what we're seeing here is a woman who's in a situation where her self-image, she's challenged to reinvent her idea of herself by who she picks in men. Okay, does she want one with substance, or does she want one that's a Lothario? Now, in the long run, in the movie, he really came through. But if you remember in the beginning, he was kind of all talk. And he was the one who had all the substance behind it. So in this particular case, she's actually getting caught by the men with the flash and not with the substance. And what's weird is the 5 of hearts and the 8 and the ace are telling me, and the ace of hearts are telling me that she gets upset that men don't see her for her substance. But what she's doing is she's picking the ones that are more shallow than the ones who have substance, because those are a real challenge to her heart, and she's afraid of having the real challenge, because if she has the real challenge, she won't have the power in the relationship of being the one with substance while the other one doesn't. So it's actually a self-generated situation where she's making her own problems. Okay, so, and I'm going right off of these, the characters here, and my understandings of what the cards mean. Now, the reason I did this is someone wrote me a long time ago, and they said that they were doing readings with magic cards, and they had other cards that weren't necessarily tarot cards or divinatory cards, but they had strong associations with the meanings or what it was, and they developed their own divinatory system, but they were telling themselves that they shouldn't. Well, no one can tell me, because first of all, I understand intensely what the playing card meanings are and how to read them. But now this gives me a whole other layer of nuanced meaning and association based on my connections to these that have had a really profound impact on me when I was a kid, and my interest in the supernatural. Even though it was a silly, funny movie, it made a real impression. So you can imagine when I saw this, I was like, oh, awesome. This is going to be great for doing readings. So that's it. And also, it keeps it light. I like things like this because they keep it light. People can have a laugh, too. And when people have a laugh and don't take it too seriously, the readings get a lot more accurate. Okay, so that's how you do it. I am Lucky Links. And that's how you take something that means something that has some significance to you, and you go through right from the beginning as you start, and you say, hey, I might use this for this, and then, but here's the thing, as you continue, don't be stuck to those meanings and say you're going to be rigid, because you might develop a little deeper understanding as you move on, and things might become a lot more nuanced. And always be open to the fact that it's just the tool, and that's not what has the ability. It should come from you and the connection with the other person. So, that's how you do it. Now, those of you who are interested, I am still teaching a class on playing card reading, and I can show you how to read these suckers like the devil. Where is he? He's in here. And class is going on, but you can slip in the way that I've designed it. I can slip you right in, and you can get into it and learn how to read these suckers like a devil. I'm also teaching the Lenormand class. Just started. There's still time to start along with everyone else and get in there. And the first assignment is, whoa, it's a good one, and it's a big one. But once you're done with that first assignment, boy, will you have a deeper understanding. And that's just the first assignment. People are excited about it already, so I can slip you into the Lenormand class or a tarot class. I have an intermediate to advanced tarot class. So if you're interested in taking any of those classes, contact me, conjurehope@gmail.com or 779-302-8009. I'll put those two connect in the thing below. They're virtual. The classes are virtual, and there are video lectures, and each comes with 3 one-on-one coaching sessions. Okay? So if you want more information or you want to register, you want to get in those classes, contact me and we'll set you up and try it. Get yourself a deck that you've never worked with before, that you have some strong associations with because of the imagery or whatever it is, and then start right as you start with it. Start to say, hey, this could mean this could mean, and make those connections, because what's going to happen is something very, it's going to look like magic. When you make those connections and you move forward, you start using it, it's going to look like magic. It really isn't. There's something else going on there with the mind, and it has to do with how the mind works, but it'll look like magic. If you start and you make these associations and you go, hey, and you start setting these up right in the beginning, when you start to use it, it's going to have some real power. So, as always, I'm Lucky Links, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. And you guys have a wonderful summer solstice. Today's the summer solstice. And if you're here in Northern California, keep cool, because it's a hot one. And I will talk to you guys soon.